Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Before I begin, let's just imagine walking into a job interview, a university lecture, or a family dinner and the person speaking starts using harsh curse words every few sentences. At first, some people might laugh it off. Some might say it is just how people talk now. But if we honestly stop and think about it, do we really want a world where disrespectful language becomes ordinary? Do we want a society where people no longer care about speaking with self control, dignity, and respect? The truth is, profanity is becoming more common in everyday life. We hear it in conversations, social media, films, and even among young people who may not fully understand or realize the effect of their words. Just because something is common does not mean it is harmless. This issue matters to all of us because language shapes the way we think, the way we behave, and the way others see us. Every day, we communicate with family, friends, teachers, colleagues, and even strangers. The words we chose can either build respect or destroy it. That is why we must be careful about normalizing profanity. Because once we accept disrespectful language as a habit, it becomes harder to protect the quality of our communication and the character of our society. I believe that profanity should not be normalized because it damages professionalism, increases negativity, and weakens respect in both personal and public life. Instead, we should choose language that is thoughtful, disciplined, and constructive. Today, I will first explain the problems caused by normalizing profanity. I will also share practical solutions that can help us reduce it. And finally, I will show how respectful language can benefit our lives in powerful ways. To begin with, let us look at the serious problems caused when profanity becomes a normal habit. First, casual swearing can damage how people see your professionalism. According to Adams 2024, people who use profanity casually, informal, or occupational settings often suffer in public opinion because such language is seen as highly inappropriate and unprofessional. This is important because in workplaces, interviews, meetings, and presentations, people are not judged only by their skills. They are also judged by their conduct and the way they speak. If someone uses profanity too freely, they may appear careless, immature, or lacking discipline. The first impression can be difficult to recover from. Second, the profanity does not truly help us manage stress in a healthy way. Pratante Benu and Bobus 2023 found that using swear words does not actually reduce stress. Instead, it can increase negative emotions and irritability. This means that swearing may feel like a quick release, but in reality, it often strengthens the very anger we are trying to escape. When people rely on profanity every time they are upset, they are not solving the problems, they are only feeding it. Third, normalizing profanity in digital spaces can damage empathy and make aggressive behavior seem acceptable. Mukrek, Kurek, and Kim 2024 explains that when online language becomes hostile and aggressive, people can slowly become less sensitive to the harm caused by their words. This is especially dangerous in a time when online communication already influences attitudes, habits, and behavior. If people become used to saying profanity everywhere, they may begin to think cruelty is normal. And once verbal aggression becomes normal, cyberbullying and disrespect becomes easier to excuse. Over time, this affects more than just language. It affects the way people treat one another. A society that becomes comfortable with profanity may also become less patient, less respectful, and less thoughtful. That is why this issue is not small. Now that we see the problem, let us ask a more important question. How can we actively fix it? One powerful solution is to consciously grow our vocabulary. Stapleton et al. 2022 emphasized that people can express difficult emotions such as anger, disappointment, or frustration more clearly when they have a stronger vocabulary. This matters because many people use profanity simply because they do not know how else to express themselves. When we learn better words, we gain better controls over our emotions. Instead of reacting with insults or curses, we can describe what we feel in a way that is honest, calm, and effective. That is not a weakness, that is emotional intelligence. Another practical step is to set clear language rules in schools, workplaces, and homes. UNESCO 2024 highlights that institutions with clear expectations for respectful behavior tend to experience better teamwork, greater psychological safety, and less toxic conduct. This shows that standards matters. When people know that respectful language is expected, they are more likely to think before they speak. A third solution is to practice mindfulness before speaking. This means pausing for a moment and ask ourselves, is this necessary? Is this respectful? Is this the best way to say what I mean? That tiny pause can prevent a harmful word from escaping in anger. It may seem small, but small habits create big changes. If we learn to slow down before we speak, we can avoid many of the words we later regret. Some may argue that swearing is simply part of modern expression, or that it helps people sound more honest. But honestly, honesty does not require profanity. A person can be direct without being rude. A person can be confident without being offensive. A person can be expressive without being disrespectful. In fact, when someone can communicate strongly without using vulgar language, that person often appears even more mature and powerful. Finally, let us consider the benefits of choosing clean and respectful language. One major benefit is that it makes our arguments more persuasive. Glowacki and Miller 2025 found that profanity can reduce the perceived persuasiveness of a message. In simpler terms, when people hear profanity, they may focus more on the tone than on the idea. But when a message is delivered with calm and careful language, the audience is more likely to listen. That means respectful language gives our ideas a better chance to be taken seriously. Another benefit is that clean language boosts professional credibility. Eleuterio da Rocha et al. 2025 explains that controlled language creates a stronger sense of authority and competence. This matters in classrooms, interviews, offices, and public speaking. People naturally trust speakers who can express strong views without losing self-control. A person who speaks clearly and respectfully appears more reliable, more intelligent, and more prepared. This is a powerful advantage in any setting. Beyond professionalism, respectful language also improves relationships. When we speak without profanity, people feel safer, more valued, and more respected around us. This can strengthen friendships, reduce misunderstanding, and create a healthier communication at home and in public. In the long run, the words we chose influence kinds of environment we create for ourselves and for others. As I come to the end of my speech, I want to remind everyone that the words we choose every day say a lot about who we are. Today, we saw that casual profanity can damage professionalism, increase irritability, and encourage verbal aggression. We also learned that we can respond by expanding our vocabulary, setting clear language standards, and practicing mindfulness. Finally, we discovered that clean language makes us more persuasive, more credible, and more respected. I encourage all of us to think before we speak and to choose words that are respectful, clear, and appropriate for the situation. Do not let profanity become your default language. Do not let bad language reshape your habits, your image, or your relationship. Instead, choose Choose words that reflect self-control, maturity, and care. Let us use our words to build trust, strengthen relationships, and create a kinder society. Thank you.